Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! This is unbelievable. This YouTube channel is seeing over 1,000 views every day happening for it because of each and every one of you who are incredibly supportive of Descendants and Zombies videos. You guys love Descendants and Zombies so much, so I think you deserve to be shown respect for how much you love it. And what I mean by that is there are so many people on YouTube who are uploading Descendants and Zombies videos that don't make a whole lot of sense. And I just wanted to be one of those guys to do it for you because I appreciated the franchise and I knew how much each and every one of you loved it so much. I want to say thank you so much for all the love and support you have continuously shown this YouTube channel right from the very first video that was ever uploaded over a year and a half ago on this channel. For the better part of 10 years I was a journalist and I was looking for a niche to fall into that would be incredibly supportive of my vision. And I like to believe that each and every one of you have accepted me from the very first video that was ever uploaded on this YouTube channel. That is pretty obvious and very apparent to me with over 1,000 views every day. I don't know where I'd be without each and every one of you, honestly. I don't think I would even have a career right now because I thought 7.5 years ago I had recorded my final podcast at that time, and then people who I was working with at the time said, we'll see you in a couple of years. Little did I know that I would be back sitting in front of my own computer every morning talking about Descendants and Zombies in my office because these videos are produced independently and I just pretty much upload them to YouTube, and I just wonder who's going to see the video, who's going to hit the subscribe button, who's going to hit the like button a couple of times, and I don't really think much of it. But I know that each and every one of you love Descendants and Zombies so much that I've just never ever wanted to quit on you. I've wanted to be loyal to you, and I wanted to keep my promise to you that I made over a year and a half ago. Remember how I showed up and I promised all of you that I was going to upload one Descendants video at least every day? Well, that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I've decided to become a full-time YouTube creator. I've decided to sit home, and I've decided to create Descendants and Zombies videos and commentaries for you for forever. Because you guys have deserved to hear nothing but the best in the way of reviews of Descendants and Zombies and your favorite stars. They deserve to be put on pedestals. They deserve to be shown the admiration and respect they deserve. And it's about time somebody showed up on YouTube on their channel and showed them the respect that they've been waiting on for a very long time. Because when these stars are so stressed out, they are afraid to YouTube themselves because they don't want to watch. I won't say afraid, but they're pretty much suffering from a lack of confidence because of people uploading videos with their opinions in them on them. And I can understand where they're coming from. So I went out and I invested over $5,000 behind this YouTube channel because my heart was broken about how Clarke and Meg Donnelly were feeling. And I wanted to create something special for them to let them know that they are not alone. And just like them, there are people going through the same kind of circumstances that they are faced with every single morning of their life. Every morning when a girl wakes up, she is faced with adversity. She's staring adversity in the face. And the greatest question that she always asks herself is, how am I going to overcome this today? How am I going to face this today? And how am I going to overcome it? Well, how you do it is with the support and love of your friends. And that's what we saw with Descendants and Zombies, with the love and support that Clarke and Leah Baker had for each other. And I can't forget about Ruby Rose Turner. I forever and always will miss Ruby being a part of Descendants 5. I don't know how they produced Descendants 5 without her. They did it, but for the life of me, I don't know how. Ruby will forever be missed by me. I will always love Ruby Rose Turner so much, and I think that there's never enough good things that can be said about her. But this friendship that we've seen between Clarke and Leah Baker has been absolutely beautiful, and they've been incredibly supportive of each other. They are in the position they are in right now as the top Descendant stars and the center of all conversation because of all the rumors that are surrounding their relationship. Apparently they're in a relationship together. Apparently they're going through brutal breakups. This has happened, that has happened, and everybody just can't make sense of it. They can't wrap their minds around it. And I'm here to tell you guys, while, a couple of rumors, there's nothing wrong with it because you love Clarke and Leah Baker so much, I think that so many rumors is just creating a lot of confliction. And I think that if we should be anything for Clarke and Leah Baker, it is supportive. And I think that there are never enough supportive videos uploaded when Clarke is uploading videos on TikTok of herself crying all the time. And my heart breaks for Clarke. Let me just say that. Because I was the biggest fan of Clarke for forever. I was the biggest fan and supporter of her YouTube channel. And if there was one guy who always watched Clarke episodes on YouTube, no matter if she was reviewing Sam and Cat, Victorious, iCarly, singing and dancing all the time, which I loved and found really, really cute and really adorable, I was there to support her. I was front and center every single time Clarke uploaded a video. And I watched that YouTube channel about 10 years ago go from nothing to over 500,000 subscribers in less than a year. And that was incredible. All Kylie Cantrell ever wanted to do was sing and dance in front of each and every one of you. She wanted to be incredibly supportive of the franchises that you guys know and love so much, Descendants and Zombies, and she was given a chance. She was first presented with an opportunity from Nickelodeon. She said, we got to wait for Disney, because she wanted to be a part of franchises such as Descendants and High School Musical, and she got an opportunity to be a part of everything she ever wanted to. So why are people criticizing her? It really breaks my heart. So I wanted to take that away from her, and I wanted to let her know that she is not alone. And then here comes Meg Donnelly from out of nowhere, dealing with a battle with necrophobia, which is a fear of death for those of you who don't know. And that is a really, really frightening struggle to see somebody go through. And I've seen so many people go through this kind of thing, including myself. And let me just tell you from personal experience, it is really frightening going through that kind of thing, because you know it's inevitable and you can't do anything about it. So when I saw my friends going through it and I heard about Meg Donnelly going through this kind of thing, I wanted to be there for Meg Donnelly more than anything, to let her know that she's not alone. Because no matter what you try to do to counteract it, you know it's coming for you, you know it's going to happen to you. And I wanted her to know that the support was here for her. I wanted every star of Descendants and Zombies to know that they are loved. And if there's one thing that my legacy goes down in history for being remembered for, it's being an incredibly supportive guy of the franchises and the stars that you love so much. Because I've seen Kylie Cantrell and Meg Donnelly do these interviews that really make no sense to a lot of people. You know, people are sitting in front of them with cue cards, either cue cards or looking down at a piece of paper with pre-written notes and statements. And everything is so prepared for an interview, and it's ridiculous. I think that if you're going to do an interview, I think the most effective way of doing it is sitting in front of a microphone and recording it with an open heart and an open mind, and saying how you feel about what you saw when you watched Descendants and Zombies for the very first time. I can't even begin to put into words how I felt the very first time that I saw Descendants and Zombies, because it really made me think of my own life and really helped me put my life into perspective. So if I ever had the opportunity to meet these stars eventually in my lifetime, I would say nothing but good things about them. And I gave myself a solemn vow. I made myself a solemn vow that if I was ever going to use my show as a platform to discuss Descendants and Zombies, I was going to do it in a way that was meaningful, that would represent kindness, that would represent second chances and hope for everybody, because I'm here to tell you that everything that Descendants and Zombies has promoted really does exist and can and will happen for everybody out there. I've been in some of the most ridiculous situations in my lifetime that I could never make sense of. I've dated girls who thought they were vampires. I've lived with guys who thought they were werewolves. And there were many nights that I would look at the moon when he would be howling out through his window that I contemplated shooting him. While I may have never followed through with doing it, or I've never broken up with a girl that I thought was a vampire because I loved her so much, the thing was, I had so many unbelievable experiences in my lifetime. I was there for the rise in popularity of Twilight. I was there for the rise in popularity of the Vampire Diaries, which is why I was incredibly supportive of Freya Skye when she opened up her mind about being a fan of the Vampire Diaries and being incredibly supportive of it, because I remember how popular those vampire TV shows were years ago. I go all the way back to Buffy the Vampire Slayer and being a fan of that. And I remember watching shows about Dracula years ago too, and many of you are probably too young to remember that, but I had the honor of growing up in the 1990s, so of course I was a millennial. So of course watching TV shows in the 1990s was so fun, because vampires and werewolves were pretty much stuff that would scare the life out of you when you would watch it. It's very different now, 25 years later, when you're watching vampire and werewolf TV shows and you can't really make sense of it, because if anything, it doesn't frighten you. But years ago, vampire and werewolf TV shows were associated with frightening moments. And it was so fun for me growing up in the 1990s witnessing this. And 25 years ago, if you were to tell me that I was going to be sitting on my podcast from my office streaming shows about Descendants of Zombies, I probably would have never believed you. But this is the greatest honor of my life, and an honor and a privilege that I will never, ever forget. You know, I can talk about Descendants and Zombies for up to 2 hours every single day in installments of 4 videos to a time, because I love it so much, and I know how much it means to each and every one of you. I mean, this is the reason why you're here, to talk about Descendants and Zombies and what direction you think the plot is headed in, regardless if it's mermaids, regardless if it's pirates, sirens, witches, whatever we see by the time Zombies 5 happens. I am incredibly excited about it, and I'm excited for all of you, because you guys have seen your fair share of criticism for being fans of Descendants and Zombies, and I'm here to take that away from you, and I'm here to tell you that there's nothing wrong with being a fan of Descendants and Zombies, regardless if you're a fan of the retro Descendants cast of Cameron and Sophia Carson, who I really did love. I have to be honest with each and every one of you, and I've missed them ever since they parted ways with the franchise and closed the door on their Disney past. The thing was, they saw more opportunities on the horizon, they wanted to embark on more opportunities, and a lot of people respected them, but they've dearly missed them ever since. The thing about the original Descendants cast were they were so there to promote it. They were so there to really make you fall in love with the franchises. That was their motive, and they accomplished that. No matter if it was just focusing on the friendship between Kylie or Sophia Carson and Dove Cameron. Kylie Cantrell is really on my brain, or focusing on a relationship between Mal and Ben. I think that this franchise really set the tone for what Descendants was going to mean years later, and really set it up for people like Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker. There you go, to come in and kind of take it over and really represent it in a way that it was mean to be represented over 10 years ago. I think that if Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker would have done this 10 years ago, it would have been just as effectively done, and probably even presented more powerfully than what it ever was. I, for one, would have loved to see a production where all the stars of Descendants, both past and present, what we have currently now, working with the stars of the past, and seeing these casts come together for one phenomenal production. That would have been so beautiful. The thing about Descendants that really got it over was its message of how a dream can happen for anybody, and that's been the incentive behind Descendants for what feels like forever. And now years later, here comes Kylie Cantrell. Nobody knows anything really about her, only her history from Raven's Home, Bizarre Vark, Gabby Dern in The Unsittables, High School Musical, the series, and we don't even know if she's going to be able to do a good job as the character Red. But ever since donning the character Red, she has done the best to her ability to really bring it to life. And she's been so in touch with her fans. That's the beautiful thing about Kylie Cantrell. So for the life of me, I don't know why so many people resort to criticizing her. I think it has a lot to do, and I will forever believe that it has everything to do with jealousy. Because if you weren't jealous, you wouldn't say anything negatively about Kylie Cantrell. You wouldn't be presenting such a negative vibe for your blogs, for your shows on YouTube. And I've really wanted to take that away from everybody, because if you're going to be excited about Descendants 5 with Wonderland, you should be hearing and seeing nothing but good things about it leading up to its premiere. If you're going to be excited about Zombies 5 for the next 4 years by the time you're a teenager, then so be it. I know a lot of parents are really concerned about how their children will be teenagers by the time Zombies 5 happens, and they're hoping that Zombies 5 will happen sooner. But even if they are teenagers, don't discourage them from watching Zombies. Don't discourage them from being fans. Be fully supportive of it, because watching it as a teenager for them will be just as enjoyable as they remembered watching the original Zombies movies when they were a child. You know, one of the greatest honors of my life has been able to sit behind this podcast microphone and talk about Descendants and Zombies for a number of different reasons. The biggest reason was getting to meet and know all of you for your passions for Descendants and Zombies. If not for that, I don't know where I'd be today. And I will forever believe that you guys have been some of my best friends for forever. Friends really in disguise, because I was really looking for a niche that I could provide commentary on that you guys would love so much. And it's just mind-blowing to me how many times somebody hits the subscribe button, how much somebody loves these videos, because they're just videos hosted by a guy from his office that doesn't produce these videos professionally. I just throw them up on YouTube. And what I mean by throw them up on YouTube, I don't promote these videos whatsoever. I just upload them with a description and a thumbnail that I photoshopped, and I go away. And however many views I get, how many subscribers I get, even if it's just one subscriber, it means so much to me. Because I'm not in competition with anybody. I would love to have the #1 Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel in the world, but I think that always going head-to-head with somebody in competition is just trying to defeat the obvious and state the obvious. The thing is, I just have a whole lot of fun creating these videos, and I create these videos with the passion and the pride that goes with talking about Descendants and Zombies. And if you love Kylie Cantrell, if you love Meg Donnelly per se, then say you love Meg Donnelly and say you love Kylie Cantrell. Because the thing is, you only have one life to live. And if you only have one life to live, why are you going to spend your entire life providing people with criticism and commentaries that make no sense? If you're attracting a certain niche, give them the content they appreciate. Keep giving them what they want. You know, I just reached over 2,800 hours of stream time on YouTube. And that was a huge accomplishment for me, because I never ever thought I'd get to this point. Because years ago, when I was providing commentaries on the radio or on YouTube for the first time in 2009, you know, with your limitations for producing YouTube years ago, you couldn't create the best quality content. And now years later, after 25 years of doing this, I'm here with over 3,000 subscribers and people who are so incredibly supportive of me, whom I don't deserve. Because you guys could have subscribed to anybody else on YouTube, but you're here with me. And because you're here with me, I think it's the greatest honor of my life to sit behind this podcast microphone and to talk about Descendants and Zombies. So because you're here with me, I'm going to do the best I can to provide you with the best commentaries possible. For those of you who are new here, I am the biggest Ruby Rose Turner fan in the world. I have been crying myself to sleep every single night knowing that Ruby is no longer going to be a part of Descendants 5, and I've wondered and I've questioned how they did Descendants 5 without her. Well, obviously the reason why they did it without her was because they had Liamani Segura to replace her, and of course the confliction between Red and Pink now is what's ascending in the Descendants franchise, where all the conflict is going to be presented. But I, for one, am incredibly excited to see where we go from here with the Pink character, and what kind of mysterious chapters will be written in the Descendants franchise. So for those of you who are believers out of how Descendants and Zombies have reached their conclusion, their dramatic conclusion, and they need to stop making Descendants and Zombies movies, no, they really don't. Because for those of you who believe that there are supernatural creatures that they're running out of, or that there's no more of a story to be told for Descendants and Zombies, well, maybe you should reconsider that. Because I think that this presents an opportunity to create new storylines. This presents an opportunity to inspire us more than it ever has before. And I am incredibly excited for the futures of both franchises. For Zombies, of course, we have this new journey being embarked on by this new cast. We don't know what was inside of that vortex. I'm just like each and every one of you. I don't know what's inside of that vortex, and even if I did know, I probably wouldn't tell you because I didn't want to ruin it for you, like a lot of people probably are trying to do. The interesting thing was that Milo Manheim actually dropped a teaser about how mermaids could be inside of that vortex, and even if it is mermaids, I think everybody's just going to fall in love with that. I am really intrigued by this whole idea of mermaids. I'll tell you why I'm intrigued by this whole idea of mermaids. I think they are beautiful creatures that are often sometimes forgotten about and underappreciated and overshadowed by something else happening. Even in, classic movies like The Little Mermaid was always overshadowed by something happening. Her passions were always overshadowed. So I think this could be the first franchise where a greater appreciation is shown and given to characters such as mermaids that could really bring the best out of everybody we've already seen their introduction into the Zombies franchise. And because I've read so many tales about mermaids and heard so many legendary stories about them, I'm really excited about the future of the Zombies franchise, because I never ever thought we'd even see a suggestion finding its way into the conversation about how mermaids could be a part of this franchise. But, it fits perfectly with the title of the town, Seabrook. And the location being New Zealand really opens up the door for some beautiful scenes to be shot. I know there's been teaser trailers dropped with Nova and Victor out in a boat to discover what was actually inside of that vortex, being led to a location where mermaids reside, and then mermaids come up from out of the water out of nowhere. This is going to be a really exciting time for fans, because I'm not shutting the door on anything ever happening for Descendants and Zombies. Ever since I lived on this beautiful island, I've heard so many stories about pirates and mermaids being associated with it, and I always think about Descendants and Zombies. I always live my life as if anything can happen at any given moment, even if it is a zombie apocalypse. Because as I've often said on this show, you can never be too prepared for what lies ahead in the future. And the future seems to be very mysterious and very unpredictable at this point in time. So because we don't know what direction this franchise is headed in, I think we have more of a reason to be excited about it, to generate more conversation, to be more supportive of each other, Descendants and Zombies fans, this entire universe, this global universe, than ever before. And I've seen some of the most beautiful friendships derived from the conversation that has ascended out of Descendants and Zombies' abyss. I am really excited to see where we go from here. I have been a fan of Descendants and Zombies, for those of you who are new here, for over a decade, and it's been an unprecedented decade of mystery, questions being answered that I never saw coming from one moment to the next. And I think this is really something to be appreciative of, how Disney has finally come out with franchises that you don't know what's going to happen from one moment to the next just as fast as you can snap your fingers. This is why I love providing commentaries and analogies on it so much, is because High School Musical and Hannah Montana had these very lackluster plots. Almost you could decipher what was going to happen from one moment to the next. The chemistry was really off with Miley Cyrus and Emily Osment years ago. Troy Bolton and Gabriela Montez, Vanessa Hudgens and Zac Efron weren't getting it done. And I think that while it will be argued that if not for the success of High School Musical 2 years ago, many, many moons ago, that everything else on Disney Channel would have faded off into obscurity, I think that Descendants and Zombies has found its way into a category of its own. And because it's found its way into a category of its own, it should be shown the respect it deserves. By the critics, I'm not talking about the fans, I'm talking about all the criticism that these franchises are receiving. And if it's the last thing that I do, it's going to be to show the justice to Descendants and Zombies, give it the respect, the utmost respect it deserves, for each and every one of you who love it so much, because I know what it's like to be you. I was just as excited. Fast forward, flashback if you would, to 2015. I was just as excited to see the premiere of Descendants. I didn't know what direction this plot was headed in. I was just really intrigued by how VK kids were going to be given the opportunity to come from the Isle of the Lost, attend Ordon Prep, and meet some of the most cherished characters of all time, the children of the Disney princesses and princes. So I think this was an opportunity to really showcase the significance of villains. The thing about Disney is Disney has never showcased an appreciation for villains and villainy until now. And Descendants was the perfect opportunity to really show the utmost respect for how significant a villain has been to the legacies of a princess or a prince. And I think this franchise has really put that on display and will continue to put it on display for many years to come, just how far a dream can actually take you. It can take you to the most unexplainable places. It can make you feel in the most unimaginable ways ever thought possible. And one can really find true love. That's one thing I got from both franchises. No matter if you're talking about Descendants, no matter if you're talking about zombies, it really emphasized how important love and finding love really is in a person's life. And I want you guys to know that no matter how far away it may seem from you, how unreachable it may seem to be, true love really does exist out there. And I will talk about this one final time tonight on my final podcast before I sign off for the evening, to really emphasize how powerful of a message true love really is, and how far it can really take a person to the most unimaginable places, and it can make you realize your fullest potential. And I think that with the new school year starting just last week, everybody is just slowly but surely going to find that out. And I know that with school starting now, of course, people can't watch videos until after school or during the weekends. But even though you're back to school, there still will be videos uploaded on this YouTube channel, because I am so appreciative of you guys for all the love you've shown this YouTube channel all throughout the summer of 2025. You know, covering the Worlds Collide Tour was one of the greatest honors of my life, because it gave me the opportunity to meet all of you. I will forever say that. I will forever advocate for Descendants and Zombies fans, because if there was one niche that guaranteed me subscribers, guaranteed me likes, and guaranteed me love and support that was so unconditional, ever so unconditional, it was Descendants and Zombies. So because of that, I just wanted to show you the honor and the respect that it deserved. I wanted to show these franchises that they deserve to be respected just as much as what Twilight did years ago, or many moons ago when you talk about shows like The Vampire Diaries and True Blood. Because I've been a part of every aspect of entertainment over the years, but I have never seen a franchise that has become so revered and forever and always held a special place in somebody's heart, just as Descendants and Zombies has. So because Descendants and Zombies has captivated millions of people, do you know there's 600,000 people on YouTube that could subscribe to this YouTube channel who are fans of Descendants and Zombies? So because there are 600,000 people who are fans of Descendants and Zombies, I have a lot of people to meet, and I've got a lot of work to do. But I could have never done it without the support of each and every one of you. I'd probably just be here sitting on YouTube today talking about something that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to a whole lot of people and would do anything but give someone a reason to hit my subscribe button. But tonight, I'll probably have another subscriber. Tomorrow morning, I'll probably have another subscriber. Who knows? Because one of the greatest challenges of being a YouTube creator is falling into a niche that's going to be incredibly supportive of you and what you believe in, and talking about things that interest a lot of people. I never thought this YouTube channel would see 100 subscribers, much less 3,000. We're just under 200 subscribers left to come in to hit 3,000. That is our next major milestone. So if you'd love to contribute to this YouTube channel, I would love for you to be part of this incredible journey that you girls have had me on for forever, because this really has been a journey. It's been a journey that has allowed me to discover my fullest potential, my calling, obviously, to be your voice of Descendants and Zombies. I guess I could get away with calling it a calling, because this is the greatest honor of my life, to be able to sit here and talk about Descendants and Zombies in the way it's meant to be talked about. I know that there isn't much in the way of variety for Descendants and Zombies videos on YouTube. People are uploading Descendants and Zombies videos seemingly every day to this platform. And I just wanted to be a different guy that presented it for what it was really worth. It was a passion that brought us all closer together, made us understand each other better, become the best of friends, and I just wanted to show it the admiration and the respect it deserved, which I felt a lot of people really weren't doing for you guys. Because if you're going to say something about Descendants and Zombies, the least you could do for 600,000 people on YouTube every day for the rest of your life is say something nice about it. And I like to believe somewhere, somehow, I did that, but I couldn't have done it without each and every one of you who love Descendants and Zombies so much. So I will return one final time tonight just before the sun sets with one final video with my commentaries and thoughts on Descendants and Zombies in it, and I invite you to join me for it. If you haven't already hit the subscribe and the like button, be sure to do that and show your love and support for Descendants and Zombies, because somewhere out there today there is somebody who wants to see these videos, and you can push these videos further up into the algorithm with your love and support. Bye, YouTube. We will talk again in just a few hours from now. Be kind to one another, because kindness really does go a long way in this world.